So, started off, getting to the draft preview. And we already know who's going to be talking about it. The FL section to start it off. It's going to be me, obviously. Lucky for you guys, I'm not on Eclipse, so I don't have to worry about you guys. Don't have to worry about me talking about Eclipse too much. They don't have an FL team, so we're looking out here. Draft preview though. We have what teams to be looking out for? Who's got the best picks? Who we like? First, we will be talking about the Bears. The Bears have two top five picks, being the 4 and the 5 pick in the first round. That's insane that they're able to pull those off and get those. It gives them a extremely favorable opportunity to pick two teammates for their one retained player, Ball, who we'll be talking about later. To get these picks, they made a laundry list. The trade was a laundry list. It was insane. I don't know the math on that, how they worked this out and got to agree on this was insane. If we were to go through it all, we'd be here until the draft on Saturday, trying to figure it out. It was that insane.
I mean, the amount of trading this offseason, like, I'm jealous that we didn't really get in on it. But I mean, just to start off with this and how, like you said, how they got 4 and 5. I mean, the amount of trading this offseason is bonkers. It's crazy how much trading went on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll love to see it. Keeps it interesting. You got anything to say on that, Zach?
I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot of trades happen, especially in the transaction. Every time I'm at school and I see a transaction, I already know it's a trade.
Yeah.
Trades have just been going on this whole season. So with the Bears this season, that's amazing for them.
Yeah, you can expect one thing, and that's a lot of trades to be happening. I don't know. It's huge. It's cool to the behind the scenes, the amount of stuff going on in the back there. They're always moving. They're always on top of these things. What team wants to give themselves the best opportunity to get that coveted championship? But going out for all these, or they went all out for these picks. It gives them a great opportunity, like I said, to build around who's. It shows that they have confidence in that player to pretty much lead them the way. Maybe that's their goal is to build around who's. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Great trades, great opportunity. You love to see it. Moving on,
Yeah.
we're going to the Pirates. The Pirates, no trades in FL, I believe. Gonna quote me on that.
The
I
people in
trust
chat
you.
will fact check you.
Yeah,
I'll get yelled
they
at.
will.
They have kept their own picks, but they have they kept all their picks, but they have the first pick in each round, which they literally have everyone to pick from. They get anyone they want, and then they could build around it. And then they have the premier picks in the second and third round being the first. So they pretty much it's as good as you can get for an average draft. That's exactly what you want. So
Yeah.
you're pretty much in all the good spots of each round. You get the best first round player, you get the best second round player, and you get the best third round player.
Yeah. Think at it like from the other side too. Like the Pirates' big position to have to like the first overall pick in a in not only the first overall pick in FL, it's the first overall pick of the draft day.
Yeah.
So like that's a big responsibility, and like some players take that role like of being that first player selected of the season 15 and they run with it. But man, if I tell you what, if it was me, I'm crumbling with that pressure.
Yeah, I believe that most for like if you have the first round pick and let's say all 3 rounds, I feel like that's just a great start off for the season. You're building your team, you're seeing who you put your most trust in, and with the Pirates having the first pick in each round, that just gives them more of the leverage for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much an ideal thing. That first round pick, they have a ton of work to be doing, a whole lot of studying up on who they want to take. That's also what's scary about it is you can literally pick from anyone. So it's just
Yeah.
a stress to make that correct pick. That's
It's
terrifying.
it's mostly I would like to say it's not like a huge honor to have the first pick because last season might have not gone your way, but you have a chance to bounce back, and I think the Pirates have a chance to bounce back this season with the first pick.
A great way to look at it.
Great way to bounce back. I will be mentioning their bad last season in FL. I mean, the call around was not ideal for Pirates. We'll talk about that later. And lastly, we'll be talking about the Aviators. I think they have a sleeper set of picks. I think they're sitting perfectly in the middle of everything to just sit and wait it out. They just keep knocking off names off their board as to who they want. They have the 14th pick, which is very late in the first round. But by then, a whole bunch of names will be knocked off. They'll just be sitting there watching, and then they can pick as they want. And that player that they pick is who they get to build around. And just 6 picks later, they got their next 2 picks. They got the 20 and 21st pick. I think that's ideal because most of the names you'll be able to see most of the names that they want. So once they pick their first player, they'll be able to look at who's already still available. The most likely won't be that many gone by then because there's only 6 being picked after, and they pretty much have all the room in the world to build with. They going to be getting 2 middle round, literally middle of the draft picks, which is a premier to have. It's honestly insane. I think they could pull off something special.
Yeah, something I like too about that kind of setup, and I'll talk about it a little bit more with the CL and AL, is they get their draft done early too, right? So they can get these 3 players. They can sit back, relax the rest of the draft. They're done stressing. Like you said, they're pretty like inline picks. They're not very far from each other. So like they're just done. You know what I mean? Around the middle of the second round, just done with draft, and it's over. You know what I mean? They got their roster set up. They're ready to go and start maybe like marking down who's gone, and then start looking at FAs after the draft.
Yeah, I believe most of the time there are teams that have big sleeper picks. Most sleeper picks do tend to draft very well, especially if they have the 20 and 21st pick. You pick your players up and then you already know what you want to do with your FAs. It's you just got to go with it. And with the Aviators having this pick, I feel like they'll have really 3 good players they can build around and look for people to back them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say better myself. I'm glad we're all on the same page here, and making me feel reassured. Like I think I know what I'm talking about here. I like to think I do. Just an
Our
FL
job
guy,
here is to ramble.
exactly. FL guy in a dream. You guys make me look good. That's all I can ask for. That's about all I got for FL. Moving on to AL. Who's got that covered? Would you like to announce yourself?
I got AL and CL covered. I'm gonna be our honorary AL guy. I'll do what I can to know the best, and hopefully, like you said, we'll get some input from everybody else. Get your guys in your takes, your input, your what I mean, what's spicy, what's not. So I'm starting this off with one of our production guys, Envy, who's done probably like you said the most trading in this offseason. But the Jets have 6. That's right, 6 AL picks, 6 of them. If I pull that up, let's see. I forget where they all are because there's so many of them. But they have 3 in the 3rd round and 3 in the 3rd round and 3 consecutive picks early in the second round. 3, 4, and 5 in the second round. So, like you said, you can pick this wombo combo up early. A lot of retentions in the first round of AL. So, you know what I mean? I don't have the exact number, but realistically, it's you're about 20 picks into the draft when the Jets are starting to get these players. So technically, still first round picks minus retentions. And then, you know what I mean? You get this wombo combo, and then you can move on to the 3rd round and kind of sprinkle some players. And there's some support guys, some sleeper picks like Zach was talking about. So, I mean, I don't know what your all's take is on 6 picks, but that is the most I've ever seen.
6 is insane. I don't even know 6 people in MLE, let alone picking for one league. That's insane. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
six picks is insane.
Yeah.
As I said before, looking at transactions and seeing like, especially if it's not even my league because I'm an ML player, but seeing all these other leagues having all these types of picks and just trading, that shows that the Jets are determined to want to win this season, and they're proving it.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, there's not a lot you can add to that other than like they have 6 picks, right? It's crazy.
Can't can't
So
can't fight
I'm
it.
gonna move on to my next team, which is the Lightning, rocking 2 top 6 picks technically. Like I said, with the retentions in place, these are gonna be the 2 of the top 6 players drafted. Um, and they have a 3rd round towards the end, so solid chance to get the 2 players that are probably gonna anchor this team. Let's see, where's the Lightning at? Uh, they're going to get 2 solid players for this team. They got MST and they got Psych still on the board on their team still with their not affecting draft retentions. So they're going, you know, what I mean, they're going to have their 5 player base. They're going to have that solid rotation. They're going to get 2 people in early and then move on and grab somebody late in the draft.
Yeah, Lightning with the top 2 6 picks. That's just amazing. Every team just has amazing picks right now, and the Lightning they have a chance to rebound and use these picks for the right people. So
And like you said with the Bears, those top picks pretty insane to get. Also just like with the Pirates, the top picks, the stress on them to make the right picks. You have the entire league to pick from, and it's just the stress to make the right picks and get that pairing.
yeah, you're basically giving the first 2 picks the open saying, hey, tell us who you want, we'll do it for you. So Lightnings, they're set right now.
Yeah. So then after that, my next team I'm looking at in AL is the Comets, another team that traded up to grab 2 first-round picks. So again, like I said earlier, there's a lot of retentions in AL in the first round. So realistically, these 2 picks for the Comets going to come in the top 20 of the draft. And then they have an early third round pick. So they're going to completely ignore the second round. Don't care about it. Grab somebody in the third pick in the third round and just be done with it. Watch the teams go. Start figuring out again who they're going to pick up off of AL or FA, not AL. But that first pick that the Comets have is the second overall pick of players drafted. Got the Elite at number 1, so props to them for keeping that first pick. Knights have a retention, and then the Comets going to be picking the second drafted player.
And I mean, first round. You said two first round picks again.
Yeah.
Yep, another team that traded for 2 first.
I don't get how many first round picks there are that these many teams keep getting multiple. But I mean, good on them, I guess, to be pulling these off. I don't. It's good looks for them for the season. Good hopes or high hopes again. The pressure.
Yeah, I don't know what type of intimidations the Comets did to get 2 first-round picks, but they must have done a lot of intimidation to get those picks, and especially having a third-round pick, those 2 first picks are going to come in real handy for them. So
Yeah.
tops to them.
Yep, and then moving on to the next team, we'll keep rapid fire here. The Wolves, first round retention, who I believe was traded away. I need somebody to fact check me on that in the chat. They have a first round retention that was traded away, but they still managed to get 4 total picks in the draft. They're kind of all over the place. They're kind of spread out, but they have 2 second rounders about middle, couple picks apart, and 2 third rounders about the same. So they're kind of in the same spot in those 2 rounds, but lost that first round retention, still have 2 players on their team in Gang and Texas Cyclone, and still have 4 players to pick from. So looking at kind of where our pool, like our player pools ended up and how many players are going to be on the FA sheet after the draft, being able to start with 6 players on your team is such a leg up right now. So, I mean, props again to these people that are getting all these trades in, but 4 picks, good number of picks, kind of later in the draft, but you got 2 11-5s to start your roster right in the middle of AL. So you got a lot of room to draft and a lot of room to build around.
Yeah, building's all you can ask for. Some teams some teams give everything they have to get early picks. Some teams want to trust their building process.
Yeah, a lot of teams that usually keep their retentions and then trade them away, that sounds more of like a rebuild. So Wolves are in a rebuild right now, and they wanna make the perfect team to try to strive for the playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bounce back action for him.
Yeah.
And then the Hurricanes, right? This team somehow always winning championships. What did they get 4 last year? I wish I remember that. I think it was 4
Yeah.
across the different leagues, all over the place, up and down. So this Hurricanes team won the Threes AL championship and still ended up with the 4th overall pick of drafted players. Again, there's a retention at 2. So the 4th player being picked, the team that just won the championship somehow moved all the way up to number 4 overall, which is bonkers. And then they still have 3 picks after that. They got a second round and 2 third rounders. So again, I don't know who they're selling their soul to and where I got to get in on this trade, but to win a championship, move to 4, and then still have 3 picks after that, it's unbelievable. So props to the leadership on these teams for doing that. But I mean, that's crazy.
I was gonna say after the Hurricanes' dominance in the finals last season, how many they won? I don't know what kind of Rocket League gods they're outreaching to that they're getting this. This is unfair. We need to go against them. I don't know what's going on here. Hurricanes got something up their sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All I can say is this, because you winning championships and you have more picks. They want to go back, and that shows the dedication for the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes want to win it, and they prove it every season. And with those 4 championships, they won it. So props to them. That is just a beauty.
Yeah, the only player staying on that team just before we move on to CL is Nim. I believe Lynx Ray was traded away for one of those picks, but still Nim, very solid player. Again, 11-5, so right in the middle of AL, all the room in the world to draft. Like I said, you got that 4th pick. You can pick anybody that you want besides the 3 players drafted before you. So moving right on, we're gonna hit CL, my home, where I've been for this will be my third season now. Um, there wasn't there's still a lot of I can't say there wasn't much, but there's still a lot of trading going on in CL. The first team I'm going to give props to, the guy that I actually got to step in for on the show today is Ruben and the Blizzard. Um, I mean, they got 2 first rounders and an early third. Again, another team, they're going to get these picks in early. CL, another league that has a lot of first round retentions, and those retentions are higher up. Moving these like later picks in the first round down, I guess moving them up is the better way to put it, to where they're technically the earlier players drafted. So again, this Blizzard team, they're sitting at what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 and 6. The 4 and 6 in the first round. Don't know how they do it. They did it. They got these picks. They're gonna again get who they want. They're gonna get it in early, and then they're gonna round that roster up around Ruben himself later on in the draft. And knowing Ruben, he's a very, very like support player, support oriented player, so he can just draft shooters, passers, whoever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know where how many first round picks are that these teams just keep getting them. I don't know, and what teams are giving up their first round picks. How crazy of a move is that? Did you be like, you know what? I don't want a first round pick. We'll wait till
Just
later. We'll figure it out in post.
Just take it. Yeah, like I look at it now, and I don't know if a lot of people know in MLE, but Ruben is a great person, and I could have just imagined the intimidation Ruben, or like the trades that Ruben gave to these people for these types of for these picks. But with this team run by Ruben, he made very good trades, and I'm very excited to see this Blizzard team coming up this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And Quilly, you mentioned who's trading away these first round picks, and I got the insider scoop. Another really good friend of mine is lacking the Foxes. They traded away their first round pick, um, in good sense, right? They have two 14-5s in him and Kai, and they have Soup coming up from AL. So they got a very solid AL player who's making moves in CL. He's doing very well, but they still moved that first round pick and they moved their third round pick, consolidated all in the middle, got 3 late second round picks. They're going to start us off on day 2 of the draft on Sunday with 3 picks, very consecutive. They're going to be able to draft. Uh, they can't draft super high with where their salary's at now, but they can get the players they want. Another team that's going to end up with 6 players on their roster, which is huge this season to have that number solidified early.
6 players is a lot. It's a lot of heads to deal with. It's a lot of people you're gonna have to get playing time. I don't know. They got a whole plan there. Got a system. 6 people is you play 5 weeks. I mean, you get like a rotation going. You get to everyone around. But I think that's a lot of people. You gotta they're dedicating.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
mean the Foxes that's in my opinion an okay move. Moved all their picks to the second round. With 2 14-5s and a 14. There's gonna be 6 people, but they could make it work. They're always in the running for a playoff, so they'll find a way to make it work and give everybody the right playing time that they need.
Absolutely. Then another quick rapid fire here is another production guy making moves. The Rhinos used the first overall for retention, but they traded up for 2 early second round picks. They're going to lock their team in again early on. They're going to be in the first day of the draft with that. Be done. They can get who literally with the salaries they got, they can get whoever they want. And if I pull it up, I think they got a 14, a 13-5, and a 13. They got all the room to draft. They can pick up who they want, who they need, who they think's going to round that roster out to 5, and just you know what I mean, have a bounce back season there for the Rhinos.
Yeah, I mean salary cap. That's playing a long haul game there. You're not worried about much. You wanna assemble a team. Get a group of people. You just put balls in nets better than the other teams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally know the Rhinos, but I know the Rhinos every season in CO is up and down. But this draft, they have really good picks, so I would expect them to make a run.
Opportunity for change.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another quick one. We talked about it with the Pirates. The Eclipse, the first overall pick, technically again, you know what I mean, the Rhinos have the first pick, but the Eclipse keeping their second overall, which is the first player that's going to be drafted, and then the second in each round going after that. Smart move by them. Quick, just like to prop that out because they, like you said, with the Pirates, they're keeping that pick. They didn't want to lose it. They want who they want. They probably going to know who they want, and they're going to take that run, get all their rounds done early, and ride off into season 15.
I mean, yeah, it was all about looking forward. You were talking about flips here.
Yep.
I'm not.
Yep.
I'm just double checking because I don't want to talk about him too much. I get yelled at if I talk about him too much. Not friendly to chat. I talked about him way too much last year. I've reached my quota. Pass it over.
Yeah, they didn't trade the pick, so they're gonna bounce back. I could most of these teams that I could just say they're gonna bounce back because they have really good picks or given the option to whoever they want to pick. So, good job to the Eclipse.
I can mention their FL team really good. They had this one really cool guy who probably wears yellow flannels. Really cool.
And then my last one for CL before we move on, just another quick shout out to the only team in CL that managed to round up four picks in CL is the Aviators. They got a fellow caster, a chaser. They're keeping Blackline. They got a first round pick pretty early on. I think it's still top 10 technically, and then they're just kind of sprinkled throughout. Late second round, too early third round. So again, another team that managed to round up 4 picks in CL with 2 players. They're going to have 6 on their roster to start the season. Great position for the Aviators to be.
Same thing as usual. Yeah, it's every team that has a good pick, they're gonna do something well. So good for them.
I mean, yeah, that got they got an average draft going. The only team with 4 picks. They got enough opportunity to make something happen. It's all about what they can do with the 4 picks. They can either make or break with it, and it's a big deal. It's all about making those right picks. It's not you can have as many picks as you want in the world, but if you pick terribly, you're done for.
Well, assuming on to ML now, right, guys? So ML, to start off, that is my league. Just saying, ML. I have the demos. The demos have 3 first-round picks in every round. They're starting off every round with the first pick. So, they can wish on who they want to pick up. It's the first pick. They have to think strategically a little bit, and what better option than to have the first pick in every starting round?
Always a great position to be in. We talked about with the Eclipse, talked about it with the Pirates. Smart to just not move that pick around.
Yeah, playing conservative more than anything. 3 first-round picks in every round. Am I reading that right?
I just think of it as like they had the first pick, the second pick, and the second pick first round.
Sorry.
No, I think I've confused myself on that.
No,
but you know what I'm trying to say.
Blame me.
They have the second pick. They have the second pick in all 3
I was
rounds.
gonna
Yeah.
say, blame me. I'm a bad listener, bad reader. It's on me. I'll take blame for it. I mean, that same thing with what I said before. Just going with the very conservative thing. You can pretty much draft who you want, and then you have the best picks in the rest of the rounds to pick who you want to build around it.
Right. So the next team I actually have is right under them, the Eclipse. The Eclipse literally have the next pick right after them, and they have the same exact picks for the second round and third round. So they're basically the demos, but the demos just have more of the advantage of picking the players who they want first. So I would say the Eclipse, they can lead their teams to the playoff if they pick correctly in this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same thing we followed on the Shadow. It's just like sometimes it's just better to not move. And when you're in the position to have the second overall drafted player, and then what I mean, like you said, a top 3 pick in every round, sometimes it's just smart to stay there, stick to the plan, figure out who you want, and get them when they're there.
Definitely after a lackluster season last year, for the most part, the Eclipse they got a lot to bounce back. Not gonna lie, they were not good. As the person I talked about them a lot, they were not. It was really hard. I'm kidding. But, I mean, they definitely have a good chance having the third in every round. It's a good opportunity. It's a more than favorable spot than that you could ask for to build a new team to try and fix the wrongs from last season. And hopefully under new management, shout out Blue Mage Mikey. Hopefully he can be the difference maker.
Not for the
Calling you out in chat.
Yeah, basically, yeah. For the last team, and this team is like the AL team, not AL team, FL team you talked about earlier. I think no, the AL team, the Jets, the Hawks. Tell me about it. Transactions. every time I look in it, I always see Hawks, 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 Hawks. And the Hawks right now, they have 2 first-round picks and they have 3 third-round picks. They're making trades like crazy, and that team is going to be phenomenal this season.
Willie, go ahead and talk because I think, Zach, they made one more today.
I
Oh
think
my
so.
lord, we can't even keep up. We can't even keep up. You
They
gotta.
did. They just
We make notes throughout the week, and we can't keep up because there's that many
Yeah.
trades happening.
y'all need to calm down because we're trying to update this as we go, have a
Wait.
game plan built. So they traded away Hecto Chip today, which for that player to find value in being traded for a second round pick, keep your head high on that. Moving around, he moved to the Tyrants, and the Hawks gained a second round pick on top of all their other picks.
That's just ridiculous in my opinion. Look, the Hawks that's a rebuild right there, and the Hawks are willing to get rid of all their players. No offense to whoever got traded, but they're willing to get rid of all their players and say, "Hey, we're gonna win this now. Let's start the rebuild."
That's
I'm looking at this too. Hector just got promoted to AGM of the Tyrants, so you know what I mean. Good for him. Got moved over, got a pick out of it for the Hawks, and now he's in AGM. So in a good spot.
Hawks definitely with a power move. You love to see how it pans out for him. Hopefully, it was the right decision. It's one of those things. It's a risk to take getting rid of a player you already know. But I mean, I guess them getting management somewhere else. I guess that's something that's been in the works. Maybe they wanted to go there. I don't know, but hopefully, it works out for the Hawks. Big move for them, and they got a great opportunity.
Alrighty, now on to PL.
Mystical land.
Yeah, the mystical land of PL is literally their own land. They have their own people, and they only talk to their own people.
We
So
don't know. They're on an island somewhere up
Yeah.
there. They're Ariel and the mud
like
flicking up there.
Skyblock by themselves.
yeah, literally playing Skyblock just away. So the first team I have is the Lightnings. Lightnings are starting off the draft. They have the first pick in the first round, the first pick in the second round, and the first pick in the third round. That team, who they take, I don't know who they're taking, but the Lightnings have a load of PL players, great players to pick from. So if they pick correctly, this team will win a championship.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, the PL is their own land. You know what I mean? Nobody really knows what goes on there. I don't even think they know what goes on there. But to have the first overall pick in PL, you're gonna set your team up for success. You're gonna be able to draft seemingly the best player in the league or the most active. I think I looked earlier. Tuck has the second most scrim points in the league, which coming from a PL player, unbelievable to have the second most at 500 or something around there. Scrim points in PL again, unreal to finally, not finally, but to see them moving up and start scrimming like that. It's cool to see.
I just hear 500 scrim points. I didn't even know the numbers went that high for scrim points. My lord.
I mean, yeah, to continue on from that, I mean, I have 2 other teams that I could just say real quick. The Dodgers, they have the second pick for the second round set, Dodgers and Pandas, they basically have the top 3 teams right there have just the best picks, and they have whoever they want to pick for the whole entire PL league. And remember, PL is literally their own land. They have their own great mechanical players and etc. So all 3 of those teams just they have a whole lot to pick from.
Yeah. I mean, it like I said, or like you said, it's a great spot to be in to have those 3 picks, get who you want. I mean, I think the first round of PL players, all those players are probably, everybody in PL, they're probably all so close in skill. Like, you're going to draft based off of chemistry and who you think's going to work best with who. So good for those players. If they don't have a returning PL player, I mean, good luck to the FMs of those teams to start that team and pick who you want to be probably your captain at that point. But I mean, a great position for them to be in.
I don't know, PL people, I know you're up there. I don't know if you can hear me all the way down here in FL. Make some trades. Get spicy up there. My lord. Making it hard for our job out here. We got to talk about you guys and your no trades, and we got to talk about what's looking good for you. But
PL, it's like a Sahara desert in PL. Like there's just nothing.
They're just out there doing scrims only.
They're just doing their own things.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think PL picks couldn't be included in other trades. I think it had to be PL for PL, so it might be why it's not so spicy.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
No excuses.
We'll see what happens next
I want
season.
spice. I want the drama.
Yeah, the Lack Shark confirmed it down there in chat. So what you got for us, Zach?
Is that it for all of them? Or?
That's it for all of them. Now we're on to retention